Hello, today I'm going to teach you how to get your avatar in VRChat to blink and its mouth movements if your avatar has 2D eyes and a 2D mouth texture as opposed to a 3D mouth that you can mold around and change that way. But we're going to work with textures instead. So, if you don't have one already, let's go ahead and add a light source. So I'm going to click here, Shift A, we'll choose Sun, press R to rotate it, left click, have that. And then we are going to go to Material. That way we see all the textures that are assigned to the materials on the mesh. And this is only one mesh, so we won't have to combine anything. Alright, so let's move this armature out of the way. Click here so it doesn't show up. Alright, so what we want to do, press Tab. Oh, wait. Right click, Tab. Tab will take us into edit mode, or you can go down here and choose it. And then we are going to hit A, so that we are not selecting all of it. I'm going to go down here, so we're selecting the faces and not the vertices. And what we're going to do is we will select the mouth. We can hit C, and it brings up this. It makes it a lot easier to select. And let's see here. Let's look at the textures before we do this. So let me bring those up real quick. Which is, let's see. Alright, so she has this set of mouths, and we want to actually go down further to get this little area right here. It's transparent in the background. You can see right here we will have to include that in our selection, and also we will have to make it big for one of these mouths, because these mouths are bigger than the default mouth, so it's going to need more coverage than that. So I already have a file over here because I've worked with this model before. It's already in VRChat, and the transparency didn't work out too well with it. So I had to put the skin color in the background. So I have this. So we're going to use this to help us with textures. So I'm going to select this. Select a good amount. Let's see here. Yeah, I'll select some up here as well. I want to get a lot. Alright. That should be good. That should cover enough that we need. And now that we have that selected, we're going to hit Shift D and then left click. And what that did was it duplicated it. So now we have two mouths. Control Z to put that back to its original position. Hit plus over here, then new, and we just made a new material. We're going to name that open mouth. So we're going to use this. We're going to use one of those bigger mouths for that. Then we're going to hit assign, and now you can see this new texture that we have right here that's completely white. Well, actually not completely white, but close to it. It changed that. So we go over here, make sure open mouth is selected in materials. Select, and it selects all the faces that are assigned to that material. So if we did the same to, hold on, let's A, so we're not selecting anything else. Go to face, select that. It's only going to select what that material is assigned to. So keep that in mind. So we're going to go back to open mouth. We're going to make sure it's all the way up, completely white. And make sure we do that with every single material so the lighting is not off. Alright, back to open mouth. We are going to go over to the tab to the right of the materials, hit new, go down here to open. We are going to look for her images. And now this is the file that I made that we're going to use for the mouths. Click on that. And we are going to rename it to the texture file. That way Unity will pick it up automatically. And then you can see now that it has the texture. The thing is, since there's so many mouths in this texture file, it's probably picking up somewhere in the middle right here. So it's probably picking up, actually maybe down here. It looks like it's picking up the chin. It's picking up this part of the chin right here, and then this part of the chin and the mouth right here. And of course we don't want that. So what we're going to do is, first of all, let's turn on the intensity. That better matches up. So, because these right here don't have intensity at all, and this one did, so we brought that down, and now the colors match up. Okay, so now we're going to select that. Over here, drag this to about here. Go down here. We'll select UV Image Editor. And these are the faces that we have selected. Let's go over here and choose that texture we imported. Yep, looks like my prediction was correct. We got it down there. Let's make sure this area is selected. A. And then we're going to hit G. And that will move it around. And you can see that these different faces show up. So, I think this is the face I chose. We'll select that. Or not the face, mouth that I chose for the model that I have in Unity. So we have that over there. And it's going to show up over there. Sometimes it's not going to be this simple. It's going to be a really big pain in the butt. I've tried working with Neptune. That's going to take a lot of work with the texture files that are provided for her. So just a heads up, if you're going to do Neptune, it's probably going to be a big old pain. It's not going to be as simple as having a texture like this and just putting it over that. Because this is pretty much perfect. Like, we don't really need to work too much with resizing it. So speaking of which, to check that, we are going to click on this axis, bring it in, and it looks like we need to move it down a bit actually. So Control Z to bring it back to its original position. Make sure we're selecting in here. We're going to hit G again. We're going to move up. We're going to move our mouse up, and it's going to bring the texture down. So maybe about there. Good. We'll bring it back in. Looks pretty good. You don't even need to resize it. That's great. Remember the eyes, I think I had to resize it. But we'll get there. So now that we have that, our open mouth is complete. Since it's an anime type character, it's not going to have every single Viseme that other traditional avatars we're going to have. But we're going to do, we're just going to do this one and that one. This will be for pretty much just about every Viseme out there that requires your mouth to move. And this is going to be for O's and Oo's. So now that we have that, we can go ahead and move this out of the way. And we're going to bring this in just a little bit. I don't know I think what I did last time was go up to here, make sure it's still selected, by the way. I think I did 501. No. I did not do that one. It was just 5? It's not wanting to move now. Just Control Z. Because, well, what I'm getting at is, it's not going to be perfect once you do this. If you get everything situated. Because of VRChat's Viseme setup, how it detects it, and it's really annoying with 2D textures because it does an animation where it gradually goes from, like, say here's our shape key right here, it's closed, and now we say something, it's gonna gradually bring it out instead of just like bam, like we need. So we just gotta work with that for now until like an update. So we got to work with that. We got to make sure that this is really close, but not too close. And then the shape key, we're going to have it kind of further out than we really want it. Because VRChat is weird like that. So we're just going to bring it inside. Really close though. It's going to have problems coming out because I did a ton of testing. This takes a lot of patience. So if you really want to do this, you gotta have patience. So I have a feeling that might be okay. But that's where the default area is going to be for that. So we're going to hit A. And then, of course, we are going to need to save. Control S. Let's name that tutorial. And you don't have to name it tutorial. I'm sure you already know that. You're smart. So we got that. And now we're going to do the same process. Well, we probably don't need as many, but I'll do the same amount. So we got that. And we're going to go for this mouth right here. And we actually do need to select more faces because we want to cover up this mouth right here whenever that new mouth comes out. So we got that. Let's bring this back. UV image editor. And now we have this. And we can open up mouth Visemes. And we're going to make a new material again. We name that O mouth. And then we're going to make sure that's completely white. And we're going to hit assign. Oh wait, no. Got to duplicate. So Shift D, left click. Make sure we got that. Control Z it. Go back. And now we'll assign it. Oh yeah, and also bring the intensity down. Alright, so we got that selected. Go over here, make sure we don't have anything else selected. Let's select with O mouth so that we're selecting everything that's assigned to. And we'll go over here, A, G, over there. We forgot to put the texture on this, so it's not going to show up yet. So we hit new. We're going to get Ridges, and then I think it's eyelid. No. We're not working on eyes yet. I'm stupid. I'm going way too ahead of myself. Okay, let's hit X. New. Open. And we'll go to... actually, we don't need to because we already have the texture in here. So we're going to go to Mouth Visemes. We'll use that same texture. We actually don't need to import it. So we already have it. So now we have that. It looks like it's in a pretty good position. Maybe move it over a bit though. Okay, make sure this area is selected. G. Make sure it's lined up. Move it down a bit. No, actually, right there, because the chin. There. A. Colors don't look right now, but we'll fix that in a second. So what I want to do... Did I bring intensity down? No. Just the intensity on the specular. Okay, so we're going to select O mouth and make sure the position's correct before we fix some colors up. That looks fine. And we could select down here and get and move it down more. But you kind of get the idea. So, whoops. Control-Shift-Z to go forward. Yeah, we could redo the texture and do that, actually. Let's go back to well, actually, we're going to have to duplicate that, so just for the sake of not making this complicated for the tutorial, because it'd be a bunch of more steps, we'll just go ahead and have that. So yeah, I made a mistake. I should have selected more so I can move it down, because it's not completely down, but pretty sure I did that with the model that I have in Unity or in VRChat already. But you get the idea. What we'd be doing is these two faces right here would be selected, and we can see it right here, and then we just move your mouse up, and the texture would go down, and it would cover that up. But I didn't do that, so no big deal. It's in a good general area. So yeah, it looks pretty good. So now let's hit Tab. So we go to Object Mode, and then we can have a better look at it, and you can see that there's white around it, and it doesn't look too good. So what we're going to do is go over to, I believe down here, stay in Materials, hit Transparency, there's Ray Trace. Nope, it was not this. It's the actual texture. We will go to Alpha down here, and there we go. Took care of that problem. And we have that. So now it takes care of that mess up. So now we have that one. And I can see right here that it's picking up that. So let's see. Let's actually bring the intensity up on everything. Try to figure out where this is at. Might just be the lighting of it. I'm not sure. It'll probably look a lot better with the Toon shader on it. That way it won't show all these shadows. Yep, that looks good. Let's see here. I don't think I can do anything in Unity right now. But Yeah, it should look better in Unity. So now that we got that, gonna get rid of that. Let's go back to edit mode by hitting tab or going down here. Then we're gonna hit select, and just like the other one, we're gonna bring that inside, but really, really close by, so we just have to travel too far when it's animating. So there we go. Make sure we're not selecting anything. So we have that, and now we're going to go to the eyes. Now let me get a refresher on the eyes so I can get the eyelid. So the neat thing about this one is that these eyes are nice spread apart, just as these. Neptune's is like her textures for her eyes are close together, so it makes it really difficult. You'll have to do more than one eye material. With this, everything's spaced out. There's all the, it kind of bleeds out into the bottom of the face too, so we don't have to worry about any weird coloring happening when we do the UV mapping. But this is the texture we'll use. So what we're going to do is get that, press C to get this tool back up. Select most of the eye. And we can kind of see right here it goes into these faces. So let's go ahead and select those. And we'll get these over here. And there's some hiding behind her hair. Here, and these two right there. I'm going to do the same, and we're going to connect them like so. That way when we UV map, it's not going to be all over the place, because it will separate them. Right, and then we're going to go sneak into her hair and get these as well. And we right click to get out of that tool. Right, and looks like we got all the selection we need. Alright, so we're going to bring back the UV image editor. And earlier I actually already put this one in on accident, but now we don't have to do another step. So we just bring that in from this icon right there. And it's looks like it's a perfect match for this one. But sadly, that's not the eyes we want. And now we're going to make a actually, can Shift D, click, then we have that new face, and we're going to make new material. We're going to call it Iris Blink, just in case you have more than one avatar that has a texture called that. Completely white, intensity all the way up, this intensity all the way down, assign. And for some reason it's kind of behind it. But here it is. We have that. Let's bring it forward a bit more. We can, there we go. So we got all of that selected. And now we need to assign, hit new. We're going to hit this icon. We're not going to go to open because already I have it inside the model. Hit this. Go to eyelid, and now we can see that it's picking up this texture. So, oh, we're going to rename that to the texture file. Let me make sure I did that for the other ones. Yep. Anytime you open up this again, it's going to automatically have this name for it. So, Now that we have that, make sure this area is selected. A, so we're selecting all of them. Zoom in a bit. G, bring it down here. And now we have closed eyes, but let's make sure that it's all well. Zoom out a bit, get a better look. Looks pretty good. Probably don't need to adjust the size. But if you need to adjust the size, you will hit S, and that'll make a different selection. Right click so we don't save that. So, yeah, that looks pretty good. Alright. So, we are going to go back to materials. We don't need this anymore. Done with the UV mapping. Hooray! So let me put up another light source. Shift A. Oh wait, we need to be in object mode. Shift A. And then sun. Gonna make it at an angle like that. Alright. Yep, it was the lighting. And you're not going to have that issue if you're using a toon shader. Go back to edit mode, or right click this so we're selecting the model and not the light source. Edit mode. And then we are going to go back. Well, let's see here. Going to go to open mouth, and we will select that. Actually, no. Don't select anything yet. We need to make the shape keys themselves, and we need to be in object mode. So make one. That's our basis. That's the starting point of everything in the model. It's basically what you want the model to look like when nothing's happening to it. We're going to make this one open mouth. Make another one. And we're going to make it O mouth. And then finally, blink. So, if you never worked with shape keys before, basically anything I do with this shape key selected is going to change to that. So for example, let's just do another one. Key 4. We'll delete it later. So with key 4, let's just select this vertex and just like move it like that. So we got that. We go back to basis. It's going to be exactly what it is. Go to these different shape keys. It's not going to affect that. But once we want to activate this one, we have that shape key. So key 4 is going to make her choker go like that and stretch over there. But we don't need that. And you can't delete shape keys when you're in edit mode, so go back to object mode. And when you're in object mode, you can view shape keys if you hit this pin right here. And it'll show the shape keys in object mode, like I said. Yeah, we'll go ahead and have that selected when we're going to animate the eyes, because we're going to have an animation file for it. So we don't need that. Hit this to delete any shape keys. And now for open mouth, go back to edit mode, and we'll make sure that I'm in a face right here. We're going to select that. So very, very, very important. Make sure you're not on basis, because that's gonna move it in its default position, And we want the default position to be inside the face. We don't always want it to be out. Alright, so with open mouth's material selected and open mouth's shape key selected, we're going to move it out to where we see it. And we're going to move it out a little bit more to compensate for how VRChat works with it. Ooh. One thing I forgot. I just noticed the eyes. That could have been really bad. So go to basis, mixture basis selected. We will go to iris blink. Make sure that her eyes are in there and they're really close by. Now blinking, I didn't have too much problem with it. I actually didn't need to be super close. But of course you can go back in, oh yeah, saving is good. Trust me, I do save, it's just I'm not used to talking while I'm doing Blender. But so yeah. So you don't want to like export an FBX file or any file really and then import it again because it could cause problems. You really want to have different projects that you can open up. So then you go to file and then open recent or open and find it. Right here we have tutorial. So anyways, back on track. So now we got the eyes, the closed eyes inside her head as the basis. Uh-oh. And it looks like it did to these shape keys as well. So what we're going to do is delete these and make them again, because that can cause extremely bad issues. Like you have no idea. I've had so much crap happen. Like I've had a model that's completely scrambled up, which made no sense because I didn't even mess with anything down there, but that can happen. So you got to be very careful with that. So okay. So we'll go ahead and make all those again. Brain fart. What was I making? We look at the open mouth, O mouth, and blink. Open mouth, O mouth, and blink. So we got all those again. Select basis, tab to get into edit mode, and select open mouth. Make sure there's nothing else selected. Select open mouth on the material, so we're selecting that. Go back over to here, make sure open mouth is selected, and we are going to move that out. And again, compensate for how VRChat animates the Visemes. So we'll have it out about that much. And now that we check, the mouth is moving. So we're going to do the same thing. Make sure nothing's selected. Press A 2 times. Now we're going to select O mouth on the shape key, and then O mouth in the materials. Select, and selecting the faces in there. Back here. So O face. I'm going to bring that out. Bring it out to about there. And I'll hit A so we're not selecting anything. And we'll go back to object mode so you can see it better. And now we have mouth movements. Okay, so now to blinking. So select the blinking shape key, go to materials, make sure we're in edit mode, press A 2 times to be safe, and select, make sure we're on the blink shape key, And then we're going to drag this out a little bit further than we want to compensate for VRChat. And then, actually, okay, we're in object mode, basis. So all these will not have the blinking, and then we'll have blinking right there. Yay! Go ahead and save that. And now we are going to work with animating the blinking. So, if you don't already have it, you probably will. You can drag this up, hit this over here, and go to timeline. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to save this as something new. Save as, and then we'll just name it blinking. I could put it in all caps so I know that this is just going to be for animations. So now we have a new file called tutorial blinking. And down here, we have our timeline. We're going to make sure that it's at 0. And we're going to go over to blink. And let's see here. Maybe take off the pin. Yeah, take off the pin. So go over here, hover over this, hit I, as in ice cream. Ice cream. So it makes a keyframe. Actually, we don't need it over there, I don't think. So let's see here. How do you remove? Right click, delete keyframes. Okay. So we don't want it over there. We want to go, what I like to do is go to 30. We'll hit I to set a keyframe down. We'll go here. Now we're going to slide this to 1. And we're going to hit I again. Go over a few frames. See how many frames. We're going to hit I again. And the reason we're going to do that, because when it transitions between these two keyframes, it's going to gradually go in between. But since both this keyframe on 31 and on 34 is the same thing, it can't transition in between to 0 from 1. So it wouldn't do like 0 and then 0.125, 356 and that stuff. Since it's just going to be a 2D image, we don't want it to gradually go into there. We just want it to pop up like that. So we have that. So we do a refresher at 30. We have it at 0. 31, we have it at 1. And then at 34, we have it at 1. And now we want to go to 35. Bring this to 0. And hit I again. And now we have a new keyframe right there. So we go to the beginning, go over here, hit play, and you can see that she blinks. And I like to leave a lot of space in between the blinking, because I think that seems more natural. Unless you're a person that blinks a whole lot, then you'll want to make it shorter. So you can do that by changing the end to like 200, and that shaves off that, so it loops faster. So like it goes a lot faster than that. But I'm gonna keep mine at 250. So now we have that. And a reminder, we are in the new blend project. So for animations, we want to go to export, FBX, then we want to go to animation right here, uncheck everything except for baked animation and force start /n keying. And then we'll keep it at that name. That's a nice little name. That's not the place I want to save it though. I'll save it in here. I think I didn't save the original file. So we got this for tutorial blinking. And now we're going to go to File, Open Recent, and we're going to go to the original one. And you can see it's in the same position, same settings, same everything. Even the timeline's gone because we didn't save that in this blend file. So we got that. And it looks like everything's good to go. We can delete the light sources, or you can just do that in Unity, but I'll go ahead and delete it now. And then we'll go to Export, FBX, make sure I'm in the folder I want to be with all the iris stuff. We will export that. And now I am going to show you everything you need to do in Unity. Okay, now that we're in Unity, I made a folder for all the stuff that we're going to need. So I'm going to go ahead and drag the images we need. We'll let that import. And then we are going to pull in the two models that we made. For me, it'd be tutorial and tutorial blinking. We'll drag them in there. And make sure tutorial is humanoid, but tutorial blinking, we were actually going to make it legacy. Alright, so with click this arrow right here, and this right here is actually our animation that we made, which is the blinking. So click play right here, and then you can see that she's blinking. So what we want to do is Control D with this selected, and it'll copy and bring that out. So now we don't need this anymore, but just to be safe, you should keep it though, but we actually don't need it. So let's show this in Explorer so we can rename it. Call it tutorial blinking. That way it's not just named scene. Alright, so we have this avatar. And we're going to go here, reset it. You know how to work with avatars at this point, I'm sure. So I'll go pretty fast with that kind of stuff. But with this one right here, I remember I had to change up the bones and everything. And the fingers are messed up, so I had to fix up the fingers. But that kind of stuff would be a different tutorial. So we don't really need to worry about that for this kind of tutorial. Right now we're just going to focus on getting all the things it needs. So we have eyelid and mouth Visemes that we made, and it's picking up, I'm assuming, the shapes. Over here it might start out looking like this. If you hit this arrow right here, you can see all your shape keys that you made. And we'll bring that up to 100. And now you can see that the shape key came up. Kind of discoloring right there, it looks annoying. So let's go ahead and add a tune shader to that. I'm going to use cubes shader, just because it's annoying me. This is not a requirement. There. Also like the shadows all the way down for this model. Looks just, I like to make it look just like the game. And I won't worry about the outline. Just want to get that, where the hell did you go? I forgot what key it was. F? Yep. I'm a good guesser. There we go. Now that won't be getting on my nerve. Actually, we didn't even check it out. So we go over here. Yep, took care of it. So won't run into my pet peeve. So looks like it did pick up the textures automatically. That's good. 100. Blinking, we already saw that in the animation itself. So a good rule of thumb, I would say, is what these do is it gradually goes into 100, 100 being the end point. So a good rule of thumb would be actually around 9, I'd say. So this model right here wouldn't work out too well. So I would suggest if you can get it to 9 and then the shape key shows up, I think you'll be good to go for VRChat. But this one's probably at like a 20 or something, yeah. Like an 18. Well, this one's not too bad, but it's not gonna always work. Actually, maybe it might. Yeah. 11 might be good. But I suggest like at least a 10 or a 9 for them. And blinking's probably fine because of the animation. I guess when you actually animate it, when it's having a continuous animation, it might be fine. But anyways, so yeah, all that is working in our model. So with tutorial selected, we'll add a component. And we're going to, hey, look, just what we need. You'll type in animation, and you hit animation. And this animation file that we made, we will drag that right here. And there's also one more thing we actually have to do with this. Click that. Go into debug. Probably don't even need to go into debug. But I can't remember why you need to go into debug. But there was a reason. But change that to loop. Yeah, you probably don't need to. Just change it to loop. And then so we already have it in there. Let's go ahead and change this to simple avatar controller. Right here. It's on my second monitor. And yeah, that way when we press play up here, it will kind of show a little demonstration of what it might look like in VRChat. Okay, click play, and you can see that she's blinking. So there's the blinking. Click the play button again so we get out of that. So now we have that, and now we'll add another component, and this is the one that you should already have, the avatar descriptor. And now we are not going to use these two gross things. No offense. We're going to go to Viseme Blend Shape. And now we are going to select the mesh that contains the shape keys. So I have 2 of them because of the one that's already in VRChat and then tutorial. So we select this, and then we're going to click on this, and we can see over here that I chose the wrong one. So it's actually this one. So click that. Ta-da! So we have that. So do not rename this to something else, or it's not going to show your shape keys, and it's also not going to show your blinking because it's looking for that file. So keep that in mind. Do not rename this. If you want to rename it, then rename it in Blender before you do the shape keys. Or actually, anytime you do the shape keys, just once it gets into Unity, it has to be the same name as whatever is selected over here. And in the whatever has selected in the animation. So now we are going to select. Oh, I forgot to put a silence shape key on it. So let's go back into Blender real quick. Okay, sorry about that. I completely forgot about this. Go to File, Open Recent, and we'll go to Iris Heart. Oh, no. You'll be fine, but I need to use this one. Okay, so we actually need a Viseme for silence. And we can't hit none or VRChat's going to throw a hissy fit. At least in my experience. So, object mode. We'll create another key. And we will name it silence. So, like I said before, anything you edit in a shape key is going to go to that shape key. And so if I left this alone, you're probably thinking like, why am I even messing with it? If I left this alone and I saved it, it's going to delete the shape key because it's saying, oh, well, basis is the exact same thing, so let's not be redundant and delete it. So if we want to keep that, let's just go somewhere that nobody's going to see. Just hit vertex. We can just like barely move it. That's different. So it's going to save it. So let's go ahead and save this. Let's delete these. Or you can do it in Unity. What have you. Or you can go ahead and overwrite that. Sorry about this bump in the road. And now we will go back to Unity. Okay, now we're back in Unity. So, when you make a new avatar, instead of just dragging it in here and then doing all that crap again, we're going to go Show and Explore. So it brings up the window that has the project in it. So it'll be that right there. I'm also going to get the file that I made just a minute ago, the updated one. Control, left click, and drag it into the folder. Copy and replace. And now in here, it updated it. So let's go in and check. And you can see that we now have silence. Okay. So don't need these folders anymore. Alright, now we're back on track. So now in here, we go to silence. And all of these need to be filled up. So depending on VRChat's kind of weird. So with this setup that we have, I like to do silence for that, silence. I actually like to do open mouth for TH. I don't want to do too many closed mouth. If I was making a 3D model, I would change the Viseme to a more open mouth, but since it's a 2D one, I'm going to do silence. Because with TH, technically, you're kind of opening your mouth. You probably did it in real life, didn't you? With K, I'm actually going to do open mouth so it can detect it better, and same with these. It's pretty much what you think. You don't have to go by this, but you do have to fill all these up. Oops. Oh, no, I'm good. Open mouth, and with these, we'll go to O mouth, and then O mouth. So, with all those set up, it will be dandy. So, let's see, did we get everything? Yeah, then you just do the regular stuff. So, you could just edit a model you already have in here. You'll just do what I did like a minute ago. Show and Explorer, and then Control, drag this, or not this one, but the one in the folder that you'll drag it in, replace this one. So that way you won't have to set up all these again, set up the scale, and set up the view position and stuff. But you will have to restart Unity, because Unity's weird. when that happens. So yeah, that's how you do it. Hopefully this helped. If you have any questions, let me know in Discord. Send me a message, and try to clear up any kinks that you might get into down the road. Especially with Neptune. I actually tried to do Neptune for this tutorial, and I messed up like 3 times because just a big mess. Extra steps for her, but for Ivisheart, it was pretty simple compared to Neptune. So yeah, see you later.